So today on the channel, we'll be checking out the last master plan community to come out here to Cypress, Texas. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we are talking about Dunham Pointe, and I am doing an update video giving you the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you need to know about making the decision to come out here to Cypress, Texas and call Dunham Pointe home. If that sounds like something that you are interested in, stay tuned. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Aaron, and every week I'm helping buyers relocate to and throughout the greater city of Houston and the surrounding suburbs. So if you need to know anything about where to eat, sleep, live, play, hit me up morning, noon, or night. I am your guy. If this is not your first time here, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below and let me know if you've ever heard of Dunham Pointe or if you're thinking about moving out here to the beautiful city of Cypress, Texas and calling it home. But in order for me to be a resource to you and help you in the best way that I can, you have to hit me up. Call, text, or email, or hit the comment section down below. But without further ado, let's hop right back into the video. And this is a pros and cons video for living in Dunham Pointe. I think that the pros far outweigh the cons when it comes to living out here in Dunham Pointe, but there is no such thing as a perfect community. Dunham Pointe is no different. But without further ado, let's hop into the pros of living in Dunham Pointe. And the first pro for me when it comes to living in Dunham Pointe, I would say it would have to be the outstanding location. Now, just behind us over here, I'll probably give you some B-roll of this, but just behind us is 290. That's probably gonna be your quickest way in and out of the greater city of Houston from Cypress. And so when you compare that to some of the other communities that are out here, so like your Town Lakes, like your Marvitas, like your Bridgelands, any of these other communities that are out here, you're kind of going to have to do some other stuff to get to 290 to get in, or you're going to have to ride 99 to get to 10 to get back in. And so to be right off of Mason and 290 right here, I would say that this is probably one of the best locations that you can get when it comes to Cypress. Now, Town Lake is a few miles just east of us, so they're a little bit more closer to the city. But when you get off of Barker Cypress, you have to ride Barker Cypress, 10 or so minutes down just to get to Town Lake. So even though it's a little bit more east and a little bit more close to the city of Houston, the trek to get in and out of that community to the center of Houston is a little bit more difficult when compared to the highway being right off of the highway in 290. Also, because you are on like the far west side of Cypress, you are within a couple minutes of being right next to 99. So if you needed to get down south to Katy pretty quickly, you could do that. If you needed to go and ride this thing all the way up towards Tomball, you could do that pretty easily as well because of the location that you are in. And not to mention, because of the location you're in, you're kind of landlocked between some of the older communities that were here before. Fairfield is just to the north of us. To the east of us is going to be your Town Lakes. To the west of us is going to be your Bridgeland and some of the other communities that are a little bit more established that have started before us. Mason Woods is going to be off of 99, kind of more southwest of where we are right now. And so because you are where you are, you get to piggyback off of like the Fairfield Town Center. So you're going to have your Kroger, you're going to have your shopping at the Premium Outlet Mall just off of 99. You're going to have all the amenities and infrastructure from Town Lake all the way west going towards Bridgeland. So you pretty much have everything you need while your amenities and your things are being built up. You're not going to really want for anything because of the location that you're in. You pretty much have everything at your fingertips. Being one of the last people to the party, you get to basically piggyback off of everybody's infrastructure. So number one pro for me living out here in Dunham Pointe would have to be the location. Is probably one of the best locations that you can get out here in Cypress. The second pro to living out here in Dunham Pointe is that you have great builders. And so you're going to have some of the heavy hitters out here. You're going to have your David Weekleys, you're going to have your Coventrys, you're going to have Tri-Point, you're also going to have Toll Brothers, which is one of the favorites on this channel. And so to have that quality of builder out here, not only from a name brand standpoint and a luxury standpoint, but also from a size standpoint, you're going to have a product that's about 50 foot all the way up to over 75 foot out here. I believe the Toll Brother house on the end is like 80 or 85 foot wide. And so when we get to that one, you're going to see how massive that one is. I've also done a video of that one on my channel. Absolutely huge house. And you just can't get that in some of the other communities out here. I know that Marvita, Mason Woods around the corner from here, you just can't get that wide. If you want something that is that wide, you're gonna have to be in one of the other premier communities like your Town Lake or your Bridgeland. And so to have the quality of home, the size home variety that you can get from these mini McMansions all the way down to an entry level 1,900 to 2,000 square foot home in the community, I think is a plus. And so definitely pro number 2 for living out here in the Dunham Pointe community is that you have outstanding builders and variety of home sizes that you can build. The third pro with living out here in Dunham Pointe is that you're going to have great amenities. This is not going to be the biggest community in the greater Cypress area. It's only coming in at about 1,300 acres compared to a town lake, which is about 2,500 acres, compared to a Bridgeland, which is like 12,000 acres. This isn't going to be the same size as that, but compared to some of these smaller communities like a Mira Mesa or Maravita, this is going to be on par, and I would say would exceed some of those communities when it comes to amenities. You're going to have your walking trails, you're going to have your lakes, you're going to have a fitness center, an amenity center right around the corner from here. I don't know if you can see it over there in the back. That's going to have your gyms, it's going to have your Olympic style pools, it's going to have event pavilions, it's going to have everything that you basically would ever need in a planned community. And so for amenities, you are definitely going to get some enjoyment out of living out here. And to say that you're going to get all of those amenities as of the recording of this video, the amenities are going to come in right around $1,000 a year. Now comparing that to a town lake or a Bridgeland or some of these other kind of more premier communities out here, to say that you're going to get the niceness of the amenities and the amenity center that you're going to get, to say that you're going to pay like a quarter of the price of some of these other locations. I know I was in Town Lake a couple days ago doing an update video, and a couple of those sections had HOAs that were nearly like 5,000 or more. And so comparing that to here, now, are you going to get a 5,000 square foot house on a boatable lake? No, you are not. The amenities aren't going to be to that level, but there are nice amenities, and you're going to feel like you have everything that you need here. But to get that at $1,000 compared to $5,000 a year or $7,000 a year, depending on the section that you're in like a town lake or a Bridgeland, where you're going to be in that like 2,500 or more, depending on kind of what section that you're in and the amenities tied to your section. Only you can tell me whether or not that's worth it to you. But for me, this is a pro to get how pretty this community is and get the variety of home and the things that you see around you and the nature and the serenity that you get around you. So pro number 3 for me is having all these amenities, all this beautiful stuff that you see around you for about $1,000 a year. You can't really beat that, and that's a steal for right now for this area. So the fourth pro about living in Dunham Pointe is that you are tied to Cyfair ISD. Now this is probably one of the biggest questions that I get when someone is looking to move to this area from another place, is that how are the schools? And up here in Cyfair ISD is rated, it kind of goes back and forth with Katy when it comes to being tied to Harris County and the school ratings, but Cyfair ISD is up there. And so to be deeply without question within Cyfair ISD is definitely a perk. I know that some of the issues that some of my clients that are looking in the Cypress area and want to buy new now is that when they're looking, let's say in a Bridgeland, which has a lot of variety and a lot of home sizes that are similar to this community, but it's on the opposite side of 99, now those families are being pushed into Waller ISD, which just has a little bit more uncertainty. Like the school ratings as of the recording of these videos that I've been doing over the last couple months, the Waller ISD just isn't rated as good as Cyfair. And so for people that want to be in the greater Cypress area and want to have the great schools, want to be tied to Cyfair ISD, this is a community that is exclusively tied to Cyfair ISD as of the recording of this video. The district came out and did the groundbreaking video, so we know that this community is going to be in Cyfair compared to some of these other communities that are a little bit more west than us, that are a little bit on the fringe. You don't know whether or not you're going to bump into a Waller, or if you're going to be so far west that you bump into like a Royal or something like that that are on the outskirts of Cyfair. So definitely pro number 4 in my opinion, and is one of the reasons, like I said, why families hit me up all the time relocating here, is looking for a better life and a better school system for their kiddos. And out here you don't have to worry about that, because you're going to be tied to one of the best school districts in the greater Houston metro in Cy-Fair ISD. The fifth pro to buying in Dunham Pointe is that you're going to get to appreciation at a quicker pace than some of the other communities around you. So Cypress has been on fire. There's been so many communities that have sprouted up that continue to grow out here right now. With this being the last master plan community tied to Cy-Fair ISD coming to Cypress, that's an important stat that you know that there's nothing like this that is going to be coming after it. And so as the other communities like a Town Lake kind of come to an end, and as places like Bridgeland kind of go into other school districts and do some other things that aren't currently as desirable as what you would get here in Dunham Pointe, you have to look at that as an outstanding benefit to being in this location and in this community tied to the schools and the amenities that you have. And with the size difference, because this is like a tenth of the size of a Bridgeland, which is still doing some expanding at this point, because this is going to be finished at a much quicker pace, you know that once the last home is sold here in a few years, that there's nothing else that is going to be coming in this section. And because of that, you're going to start to see the values appreciate at a much faster rate, because you're not going to have that same thing that many of these communities that are still developing have right now, which is where the new construction is undercutting the resale market, because you can still build every model that is possible to build in that same community. So for those that got the biggest, most beautiful house in those communities early on, they can get a brand new one, same size and looks even better. And so that's going to undercut the resale value for anyone that's trying to move within the next couple years. When compared to here in Dunham Pointe at a much smaller footprint of 1,300 acres, this is going to wrap up probably in a few years. I would say probably like 3 to 4 years, 3 to 5 years. Everything should be pretty much done here. And at that point, we will start to see that at a much quicker appreciation rate than the other communities. I think that Dunham Pointe is going to do outstanding. And so for that, reason number 5, the size of the community and how quickly we're going to wrap up here compared to other places, I think makes that a pro. Being tied to Cy-Fair ISD, having the amenities over here is going to make this place boom compared to some of the other communities that are still developing out here. So I definitely think that's a pro, and the number 5 reason why you should buy in Dunham Pointe. So like anywhere in the greater Houston metro, every community has cons, and this one is no different. And so depending on your specific situation, depending on your needs, this may not be a con to you. But as the recording of this video, the cheapest property that you can get in Dunham Pointe right now listed online is about $515. Now comparing that to a Town Lake and comparing that to a Bridgeland of houses of similar size, that's about on par for those communities. But as I stand in front of the biggest model home and one of my favorites, the Ashby by Toll Brothers, it is definitely a expensive community. Now this may not be a problem for you. You may just have the money to do whatever you want, pick whatever you want. And if you're looking at this video, you probably are in that category. But if we are looking and comparing it to the other communities over here, you know, although you can't get houses that are this big, you can get houses that are that big in other communities. You can get houses that are this big in other communities. And so you aren't going to get the size comparisons in like a Marvita, some parts of Mira Mesa, or in Town Lake you can get this big, but that comes at a premium, right? You also have the boatable lake. And so for a price point of entry level out here in the greater Cypress area, you can get in Cypress as low as 300,000, but out here we're starting right around 5. Now I know, because I've had some clients looking out here, that David Weekley starts at like 450 for like 1,900 square feet. So it's not all the way accurate on the MLS as far as being the lowest price, but that's before you pick a lot, and that's before you have upgrades and all the other stuff that comes with picking a home. So you're gonna be fairly close to that $500,000 entry point. And so only you can tell me whether or not that's worth it to build the house here and have the amenities of here and the schools tied to here for the price point, compared to a Mira Mesa that's now in resale, or a Marvita that is just starting out, that doesn't maybe have the premier builders like a Toll Brothers or a Newmark. Only you can tell me whether or not that's worth it, but I do know for a fact that you are going to be paying a premium to be out here in Dunham Pointe. So con number one, like I said, may not be a con to you, but for most people, you're going to spend about $100,000 to $150,000 more to be out here compared to some of the other entry-level price points like a Mason Woods or a Marvita out here in the greater Cypress area. The second con to buying out here in Dunham Pointe, at least for right now, and I know you're about to say it, Aaron, why the hell will you come out to a brand new community and make this complaint? Is that people that are looking at this channel aren't necessarily from here and they don't know any better, right? And the con number two is that we're in the very early stages. Your amenity centers probably will be finished at the end of the year as of the recording of this video, and they're just getting some of the perimeter fencings up. And so we're just in the first couple sections of this community. And so if you are looking to move out here and have an established community that you are just a part of, this ain't it. There's some other communities that are going to do that better. Town Lake is going to do that better. Bridgeland is going to do that better. Mira Mesa, which is pretty much finished out and wrapping up, is going to do that better. And so there are definitely more complete communities than we have right here in Dunham Pointe. As you can kind of see behind me, I don't know if you can see the roofs in the background. I don't know if you can hear the hammering of the nails in the background, but we are in the pretty early stages right now. We got a long way to go. And so if you want something that is like turnkey ready right now, everybody has a little bit of inventory, but for the most part, if you want some size or you want any kind of customization, you're gonna have to build. And the neighbors and the people that are coming with you are gonna be building for some time. So if that's something that you don't wanna necessarily be around for the next foreseeable few years, if you don't wanna deal with the nails and the tire and all that other stuff that comes with being in a community that's early on, then Dunham Pointe probably isn't gonna be for you at this point. It doesn't mean that it won't be in the future, but as of right now, this isn't gonna be the spot for you. So con number two is nitpicky as hell, I promise, I know, but is that you're in the early stages of construction and you're gonna be doing that for some time. And the last con I got for you out here in Dunham Pointe, and here comes me beating a dead horse on this channel. I focus on luxury new construction areas in the greater Houston metro, and they pretty much all have the same con, and that is that your taxes, your property taxes out here are gonna be higher than you would if you were to buy, let's say, in the city of Houston. And so out here, as of recording this video, you're somewhere around 3.4, 3.5% on a property tax, and to have a entry-level price point of around 500,000 and to have a property tax rate that is above 3, you're going to have a tax bill every year before homestead of about $15,000. And so you have to tell me whether or not that is worth it to you. Do the schools make a difference to you? Does being close to the premium outlet mall and having the easy access in and out of Cypress and down to the city, does that matter to you? Does having a smaller community that's going to appreciate and value a little bit quicker than some of these other communities out here that are still developing, does that all matter to you? Because it's going to come at a tax bill liability of about $15,000 a year as of the recording of this video. And we all know that the tax man or tax woman comes around every year, and they're going to try to boost that up every year. And so as of right now, while you're paying off some of these mud bonds and some of these higher tax rates in the greater city of Cypress, you're going to have a fairly large tax bill, and only you can tell me whether or not that's worth it. It's about on par with the other communities out here, so I'm not going to say that this is any worse than a Town Lake, than a Bridgeland, than a Mira Mesa, than a Marvita. Any of these communities that are over here, I'm not going to say it's any worse, but it is not better than any of these communities out here. So con number 3, I'll take my mean old tax accountant hat off and let you know that the taxes out here are high, and you need to be prepared for that if you're going to call Dunham Pointe home, at least for the next foreseeable years while the community gets built out. Expect that you're going to have a pretty hefty tax bill. So how did I do? Did Dunham Pointe ring enough bells and check enough boxes to make you want to move out here to Cypress, Texas? If so, I would love to be a resource to you. I've built a great relationship with builders out here. I have a couple clients that are under contract currently at this moment with builders that are featured here in this community. So I know that I could do an outstanding job representing you. Hopefully I didn't scare you away. I know I come in with the doom and gloom sometimes, but I just want you to make the best decision for you and your family when it comes to moving out to a community like this. Call, text, email, hit me with the comment section down below. Let me know what questions you have about any builder, any incentives, anything going on about this community, any amenities, schools, any of that stuff. Hit me up and let me be that resource. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have an amazing day.